Hello, welcome back to Cinderella Math. Today I'll be doing just the basics of the Cartesian plane or the graph that you see in middle and high school math and beyond, and how to just graph points. So this will be very basic. I would say this could go anywhere from 4th, 5th, 6th grade, pre-algebra, even algebra 1 if you just need a refresher. Wherever you are in your math journey, it's really important that you know the parts of the Cartesian plane and how to graph some points. All right, this will not include any lines, just points for today. All right, so I'm going to go over to some graph paper and let's get started. First, I'm going to tell you the pieces of the Cartesian plane. You will see that it has two lines coming through the middle. Those are called your axes. Oops, let me not cover up how they're labeled. Okay. Alrighty, so your horizontal one that I'm about to go over in a red highlighter, this is your x-axis. And the vertical one that I'm going to go over in a yellow highlighter is your y-axis. And we do always refer to those with smaller letters, lowercase letters. Okay. You'll notice that they meet smack dab in the middle. Right here, this point that I'm putting a black point on, that smack dab in the middle is at point 0, 0, because it's right in the middle. It's not left, it's not right, it's not up, it's not down. And that is called the origin. And kind of think of that as your home base. That's kind of always where you're going to start. Okay? Now you'll notice that it's cut into 4 parts. Those are called quadrants. Those are the 4 areas created by the x-axis and y-axis. Here we'll go ahead and define x-axis is the horizontal axis and your y-axis is your vertical axis. There we go. And you'll notice this one is counting by 2s. If that really bothers you, you could come in here and, put in those missing odd numbers. To your right on your x-axis, you can see that we're positive. To your left on the x-axis, you can see that we're negative. If you go up from the origin on the y-axis, you can see that we're positive numbers. And if you go down from the origin on the y-axis, you can see that we are negative numbers. Okay. Sometimes you'll be counting by 1s, 2s, 5s, 10s. It kind of just depends. This one you can again see we are counting by 2s, but I did go in and put in some numbers. Let's go back to the quadrants real fast. The top right is quadrant 1, and we use Roman numerals for this. I'm not sure why. Just kind of is. And then you're going to move in a counterclockwise. So the top left is quadrant 2. Down, still in that counterclockwise motion. So the bottom left is quadrant 3. And finally, the bottom right is quadrant 4. 4 in Roman numerals is IV. Sometimes we'll put a Q, a capital Q, like quadrant 1, quadrant 2. Some people do, some people don't. So, kind of just depends. Okay. All right, so you'll notice if we graph a point, well, let me tell you about a point actually. So, it comes like this. It's parenthesis, an X value, comma, Y value, close parentheses. That is called an ordered pair. Pair because there's going to be 2, and ordered because it's always in that order. X first, then Y. Okay? And I think that's most of the basic vocabulary that we need. I'm going to take off these quadrants here so we can actually get to graphing. All right, let's graph some points. So I'm just going to put up a couple points here. So let's start at the very tip top, 5, 7. So this is our x, this is our y. So starting at the origin, on the x, come over 5 to positive 5. So that's going to be right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You don't actually want to do those bumps. I'm just illustrating. And our y value is 7. So from where we right there are at 5, come up, because it's positive, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Right there where I put that blue dot. Oops. Let me do that again. Right there. I'm going to call that point A. Always points, we give a capital letter. That point is at the location 5, 7. At the coordinate location 5, 7. So we went over right 5 and then we went up 7. Okay, so it's always over either left or right and then up or down. Let's try the second one. I'm going to call this point B. We're going to go from that origin right 6. Why are we going right? Because it's positive, and positives go to the right on the x-axis. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then we're going to come up because this is our y value, 8, and we're going up because that 8's positive. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Boom. There's point B. Now those were both in quadrant 1. And you'll notice in quadrant 1, everything was positive. Our x was positive, our y was positive. So these came out in quadrant 1. And so some teachers will have you memorize that quadrant 1 is positive x, positive y. I don't know if you really need to memorize it, but some teachers like you to. Let's come to point C. It says -1, 5. So starting at the origin, home base, I'm going to come left 1. Because again, this is x. On the x-axis, negatives take us left. So I'm going to come left 1, boop. And then this is positive, so I'm going to come up 5, because that's our y. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Put your point. There. That's point C. How about D? Left 3, up 4. So starting at home base, the origin, 1, 2, 3. There's -3. Now up 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Boop. D. Maybe. There we go. And you'll notice that those both landed in quadrant 2. Okay. So some teachers will have you memorize that in quadrant 2, the x is negative, the y is positive. Oops. So we went left, then up to get us into quadrant 2. How about point E? We're going to come left 6 and then down because that's negative. So our x is left, our y is down. So starting at our home base, left 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, down 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Point. Oh my gosh, every time I erase my squiggles, my point goes with it. There we go. You don't actually need to do those squiggles. I'm just doing that to illustrate. You probably just want to just count and put your point. How about point F? Left 1, down 1. So from that center, left 1, down 1. Right there, F. You'll notice that both of those landed in quadrant 3. Quadrant 3, you can see from those points, those green ones, we went negative, negative. We went left and down. Okay, how about point G? 4th, -3. So from that origin, we're going to go positive. Okay, so we get to go right on the x this time. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then down on the y. Down 3. 1, 2, 3. Point G. So we went right 4, down 3. And finally, how about point H? Right 6, down 2. So from that center, right 6, down 2. There he is in the purple, H. You'll notice that these two, the purples, landed in quadrant 4. And they had a positive X to the right and then a negative Y down. So again, those patterns aren't like, they just are. Some teachers will want you to memorize them, but if you can count, you can do this. I promise. Okay? Now, what if your point, I'm just going to reset this completely. Pause if you still need this. What if your point has a 0 in it? These are usually the ones that trick people up. So let's say we have 6, 0. Remember, this is X, this is Y. We're going to come right and then up, but hold on. Start at the origin, right 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. But then don't go up any. It says 0. You're just stuck. Put your point. Okay? That's how you do that. If your teacher asks you what quadrant that's in, you would say it's not. That is not in a quadrant. That is located on the x-axis. Okay, but what if you get 0, 6? Again, this is x, this is y. Start at the origin. 0, that means you don't go left or right. Don't move. So no left, no left, no right. And the previous one, the 0, was no up, no down. So we're just stuck at the origin. But then this positive 6 means go up 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, point. That's how you do that. We went not left, not right, so we stayed home, and then we went up 6. And that location is the y-axis. That's not in a quadrant. It is located on the y-axis. Okay. How about negative 5, 0? So left and then stay home. So from the origin, go left 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Stay home. And that's on your x-axis. One more. How about 0, negative 8? Stay down. So from that origin, don't go left or right, stay home, but then go down 8. Boom. And that's on your y-axis. Okay, graphing, super important skill. I hope this was helpful to you and that you're having a great day. See you again soon. Bye-bye.